Hey everybody, welcome back to Hot Taq'n. In this series, Andalee is going to sit down with master percussionist SuSu. Andalee is going to talk to SuSu about the younger years, her club days, and what SuSu is doing now. So as always, please don't forget to like and subscribe. Sit back and enjoy part 2 with SuSu.
How has your mom being Amina influenced your life?
Having Amina as my mom influenced my life in a big way because she has inspired me, she has mentored me, she has helped to manage my gig schedule. She has started bands that I got invited to be in, and they disbanded and let's start a new band when a musician would come to town. Because she was dancing at the clubs, I had quick and easy access to the players in these bands that she was dancing to that I know I wouldn't have had access to if I was just someone that was interested in it. How else would you get access to lessons or musicians? I mean, there was Vince Delgado teaching at her studio that was a block from the house. I had access to it and encouragement and someone that wanted to nurture it. I don't know if she wanted a drummer, but she got one. But it takes a dedicated parent to get the kid to the lessons, to pay for the lessons, and to put up with all the sounds that you make when you're working on it, So I feel very, very fortunate. So it influenced me greatly, not just when I was a kid, but just still to this day, because Amina has the biggest library of Middle Eastern music of anyone I know, and so she's helped to provide me with reminding me which songs that I should know that I might not know, and just helped to encourage me to not give up when sometimes I would be frustrated because it can be challenging. So these kind of little struggles. So sometimes I've wanted to quit, not because I don't love it, but sometimes I get tired of the challenges.
The politics.
Yeah, and sometimes I didn't want to play it out in public. I just liked to drum, so I just wanted to drum at home. But I loved to drum, and so she encouraged me to share it with others. And so through Amina and her Aswan dancers, I got access to performance opportunities. I would get to go to the club and watch my teacher play because she was dancing that night, and then he would want to take a break, and then he'd hand me the drum, and so that's how I learned some, terrorized by the teacher wanting to take a break, and then I would go in there.
How old were you when that started?
I was in my teens. Yeah.
That's a hands-on education. Do you think you would have come to Arabic music had Amina not been your mom?
No. How would I have known that I loved it had I not been listening to this music since this is the music that we heard at the house. So how would I have heard that music? With the exception of the Beatles and Elvis and Sam Cooke and some old R&B music, those tunes were playing, but it was Brazilian music, Celia Cruz, African music, a lot of just solid field recordings of drums in Africa. It was so that really, you just get this taste for drumming. So I don't know, all of my friends' moms, they were just listening to rock and roll and little jazz here and there. But when you get access to something, then it becomes part of something that you like food.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you start tasting this food, and then it's becomes something that's familiar, and you like those flavors. So I don't think, if Amina wasn't my mom, unless it was a musician or another dancer, I don't think I would be into it.
Mm-hmm. Who is your biggest influence musically?
Who is my biggest influence musically? That's a great question. I don't have the answer for that one. I'm going to have to pass. There have been so many huge influences on me.
That is a tough one.
If I said Stevie Wonder, would that make sense to you?
Sure, why not? Stevie Wonder is a genius.
Who was my biggest influence musically? Yeah, I can't really say.
Do you have a favorite artist?
Too many to mention, really.
Yeah.
Really.
I totally get that. When
I-
people
I
ask
get-
me what my favorite song is, I blank. I'm like, can I choose 100?
Right. I'm too many to
It was worth a
mention.
try.
Yeah.
So I'm curious, what is your favorite genre of Arabic music to play? Classical, pop, shabi, muashahat? What gets you going?
I love it all. But I will say, to play, I love playing club style. But I challenge myself with making sure that I have the dynamic range to be able to play classical style or tarab. I love tarab. I love hearing music when there are singers, and I love having the sensitive touch in order to play sparse and light, and to be able to create the space where a singer can not feel like trampled on by a heavy hitting drummer. But I really love playing for dancers because that's what I was raised with. Playing for dancers is something a skill that I work at a lot, that I've been working at for a long time. I want to sound strong, so I want that full dynamic range, but I really like soft music to listen to. I like it. I like the nuances, and I like especially old music. The older, the better. So I love older music. I love playing for dancers. Now, that being said, loving to play for dancers, I will say that I notice that drum solos being in fashion in shows, it comes in and out. From the heyday of when I first was in my my formative years, especially in the 80s, when I went to Egypt for the first time with Amina in a tour group with Morocco. We went night clubbing every night, and in those days there was all the 4 and 5-star hotels and under had giant bands, and the bands would change a few times in a night. And so we got to see some of these giant star dancers, and on the stage there would be minimum 30 to 40 people. The drum sections were so big. They had the lead tabla player, they had a dahola player, they had a mazhar, they had maybe a rik, maybe 4 duf players, but the rhythm section was minimum 7 people. And so my taste for big percussion is from going to Egypt in 1988 and going night clubbing every night, and at each place we went, the bands, we would see at least 2, sometimes 3 bands before the headlining dancer came on. I mean, we'd meet in the hotel lobby at 9:30, we get to the hotel by 10, and the lead dancer, the famous one, sometimes would go until 2, 3 in the morning. And so we'd see band, and then within 5 or 10 minutes, the first opening act would come out, then they would change. And another 25 or 35 musicians, 40 people would come out. They would do the set change in 5-10 minutes. Then you'd hear the singer, and then you'd see the opening act, the build-up. And so in those days, the drum solos were like, I kid you not, sometimes 12 to 20 minutes long. Because it wasn't a drum solo, it was a rhythm section full of all these amazing changes. So I saw that in my formative years, and that made a huge impact on what I love. I love a lot of drums, but not to the point where we drown out melodies. But I love the songs from that period.
Yeah,
the
that makes
heyday.
Yeah.
Oh my
That
God.
must have been pretty amazing to go see in person at that time and have your mom take you
Yeah.
along. That's so
Yeah.
great.
Yeah. That was really inspiring, like beyond words.
Yeah.
To-
Aw, that's really beautiful. I'm learning so much about you both. Like, if we were just doing this for me, like, I'd be okay with that. Maybe you guys not so much, but I would.